Hello, Dwayne. Uh, I am Mexican conquistador from Mexico, and I want to preface this whole video by stating that this is a homage to you. This is me trying your format for the first time, and maybe the last time, just paying respects to you, because you've inspired me and many other young people to act upon their lives in, the ways that you've been talking about. I wanted to accompany you in the Brotherhood of the Leaf, but it's very soon for me. It's very early in the morning for me to smoke some pipe. So, because I'm a urban cowboy, I'm just gonna accompany you with a smoke. Now, uh, having said that, I by the way, the pipe, if anyone is interested, is of Mexican manufacturing. It's technically unbranded, so if you're in the United States, you're most probably not going to be able to get your hands on that pipe. The reason why I wanted to make this video, it's because of two of your most recent videos. One about respect, and the other one you were talking about, well, you were tangentially talking about respect. You were talking about how you are infuriated by people saying okay boomer in a very disrespectful manner. First of all, I have to agree with you, but with my reserves. I agree that everyone deserves respect, and I agree that okay boomer is a very disrespectful way to, talk to an older person, because you were telling us this story about an elder even to you. uh, I mean, you're 55, and he was an elder to you, and you were treating him as an elder, even though you deserve some respect of your own. And not all due respect is owned. That's what you said. But what about the respect that you lose? I'm here to talk about the boomer situation, and I wanna speak to you about it from the perspective of someone who has said okay boomer in the past. I declare myself guilty of that. Now, I'm gonna make a metaphor for you. What if this guy that was disrespecting you suddenly took you to court because you didn't do what you were asked to do by him, and suddenly he wants you to be accountable for his mess? Well, that's what many young people feel about the boomers. Let me explain. The boomer generation, I'm gonna rephrase all of these with, I don't think they are a lost generation. Their fathers were a lost generation. They were the greatest generation, and before the greatest generation, it was the lost generation. They were the ones who went to the First World War. They are officially branded as a lost generation. And they didn't go to war unless they went to Vietnam, in which case I have an example for you. And, you know, I don't think what I'm going with this is I don't think anyone has an excuse for their behavior. I separate responsibility from guilt. So imagine that a lost generation person is very damaged, as you say, someone from the Civil War, which I don't relate to because I am a Mexican. Maybe if I analogate this for our revolution, because we had a very bloody revolution, so I'll try to analog the experience. They have no fault or they have no responsibility. Now, I come from a very violent house. My dad was not a ex-military. He was not suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and yet he would repeatedly assault me and my brothers and mother. He comes from a very unloving family, and I can explain why he is the way he is, but that does not mean that he's excused. His behavior is explained, but he has the capacity for change, as all of us have the capacity for change. Therefore, I do not excuse his behavior, and he must be held accountable for that. And there's people who understand that. There's a very famous guy here in YouTube and Twitch. You maybe not know what Twitch is. That's okay. But you can look him up in YouTube. Asmon Gold. Asmon had a father that went to Vietnam, and he was not violent at all. As a matter of fact, Asmon Gold has touched upon the problem with parents that hit their sons and daughters. And his take is very simple, and I agree with it. You do not lay a finger on your offspring. And he uses as an example his father, who went to Vietnam, which is not a make-believe war story. It's one of the most serious wars in all human history due to some factors. I think that one of the most psychologically taxing wars to be on was Vietnam, because of poor decision making on behalf of the U.S. Army. But even then, his father was not violent. He never laid a finger on his mother or him. So he's an example that you are responsible even if you're not at fault of the experiences that you've had and how you react to those experiences. Now, boomers are in their majority not a lost generation. They were, of course, they had fathers and grandfathers that were lost generations, but they are not a lost generation. And what my generation in general is salty, let's say, about, is that in the contrary, boomers had every opportunity. They had everything, and yet they wanted more, and they still want more. Because there's a couple of problems. I have them listed here because I don't want to miss any of them. And if I miss some, please leave them in the comments. On problems that the boomer generation not only didn't avoid, but they sometimes actively caused, and then blamed my generation for. First is the economy, right? Why are we having all these recessions? Why are we having all these bubbles? Why are they exploding on our face? These young millennials and Zoomers should be fixing it. No, we shouldn't. Because we're not more responsible than any other person active in the economy, which means also boomers. It's not our sole responsibility to fix anything. And it was the responsibility of the boomers to avoid all these situations in the first place. They first tell us that we're special, then they blame it on us. Then the environment, which goes hand in hand with fossil dependency. There's many stories that I would categorize as of yet as conspiracy theory about people who had found an alternative to fossil dependency and they were murdered. Look it up. And maybe you don't trust the stories, maybe you trust. The thing is, I am 100% positive that the boomer generation did not do anything significant to change our fuel dependency. Thus, this environment problem has been there for a long time, and suddenly my generation is responsible for it. I mean, yeah, we are responsible for it, but as we all are, no, we're not especially responsible for anything anyone did in any point in time in history. Which brings me to guilt in modern German society. It's get over it. You did not kill any Jew. Maybe your grandfather did, maybe, because even statistically, most likely your grandfather never killed a Jew and never wanted to kill a Jew. So please just get over it. You're not guilty for anything. Then there's the job market saturation. Young people can't get a decent job nowadays. I have to be employed in a very specific manner just because some people are not able to abandon the job market properly. These people being boomers, of course. And I'm in Mexico. I can't even begin to imagine how it is for megacorps in the USA. How is it for a New Yorker trying to make a living with those high cost apartments? And of course, that leads me to the final problem, home ownership. Some boomers are known to have 2, 3, 4 houses. And what do young people are left with? Nothing. Sometimes we cannot even rent. So my point is, yes, I agree with you that we should not be disrespectful and that this is an age in which disrespect is practically gratuitous. Anyone is disrespecting anyone for basically any reason. But I just wanted to know the place from where we come. Like, because it's not just that they are screaming at our face, like that dude was screaming at your face whenever you didn't do what he was asking you to do. Is that they are holding us accountable consistently for their fuck ups. And of course, I'm talking of boomers as a generation, but that does not account for every boomer out there. Not all boomers are the same, not all millennials are the same. If anything, I'm a very boomerish millennial. And even my friends tell me, okay, boomer, for God's sake, I smoke pipe. What kind of fucking millennial smokes a pipe? Have you seen the background? That's my passion. What kind of millennial does that? Or whatever. The thing is, I understand that. Regarding another one of your videos, categorizing is generally a bad idea. But I just wanted to explain why the animosity against boomers and why I do think that they deserve to be held accountable. Now, being held accountable doesn't mean that they should be disrespected at every corner, but that does mean that I feel like at least the sentiment behind the okay boomer, it's completely justified. Now, the okay boomer is not justified, but the sentiment is. And yeah, that's also a problem city folk have a lot more pronounced than country people. And that's why I want to be, I want to move to the country very, very soon. That does require some time, money, and planification, but I do want to move to the country. Because, for example, my window, before I could see the sunset with my girl, my mama in the workings, if you will. We will get married, it's just that we don't have the money, the means, and we, surprisingly enough, don't have a home that we could possibly afford here to get married. We've been wanting to get married for over 2 years. We've been together for 5. And even from the first year, we were like, yeah, I think you're the one. And she was like, yeah, I think you're the one. I think we should get married. But it wasn't until 2 years ago that we started seriously planning about living together. It's impossible. It's impossible, and my generation blames the boomers for that. And it's not unfounded. But as I was saying, like before I could see the sunset with my girl from my window, now there is a very big, ugly concrete building just in my face. I can't see the sunset anymore. I can't even see the moon. I liked to get the curtains up and see the moon whenever I couldn't sleep. Now I can't do that. I hate the city. I hate everything that has to do with the city. And if God wills it, I will be moving very soon to the country. The countryside is a lot better in many regards. Now I do realize it has its setbacks, but everything has its setbacks. I am not idealizing country life by any means. It's just that I objectively think that it's better to live in the country than to live in the city. But well, anyways, that was it. I hope you enjoyed, if you even watched. Dwayne, my utmost respect to you. Send my regards to Mama. We're watching her videos as well, me and my girl. We love you guys, and yeah, I hope you liked it.